This game, especially if you do it right, you can get several of the really difficult ones in a single playthrough. Because I managed to get the platinum just, was it just yesterday? Yeah, no, yeah, I got it.
I think
I
you
got
sent
the
me the picture
platinum.
yesterday.
Yeah, I got the platinum just yesterday, which was the last one that I had to get was all 20 of the goats. So I was finally able to finish that. But what I figured out though is that you could, if you do it right, and this is especially important for you to do as many challenges as possible and collect as much of the treasures and everything in the first playthrough, is in the second playthrough you could very easily get the slop trophy, the dense dad, don't trust that snake oil, and dashing dad. Because slop, for example, that's the one, if I remember correctly, you can't you don't move or stack anything in your inventory. Dense dad is you don't craft any items. Don't trust that snake oil is you can only use 4 or less meds. And then dashing dad is complete the game in less than 3 hours. And what the strategy that I kind of started out as, although I picked a weaker shotgun than I should have, during the first playthrough, definitely focus on maxing out one of the shotguns. I'd probably recommend the either the second or third one you get, because it has better ammo capacity, reload times, as well as fire rates. But you'll want to have it maxed out, so in the second playthrough it could be infinite, and it'll be good for crowd control when you get a lot of the Lycans at the beginning, for example, crowding you, and then in the dungeons with the Castle Dimitrescu, especially too if you're trying to get the trophy and the challenge for beating that really big giant hammer dude at the very beginning. Having infinite shotgun will help that a lot quicker. Then another good thing with it is to instead of focusing, I would say focusing on upgrading any of the handguns starting out, just go ahead and get Chris's USM AI handgun, because it's already going to be maxed upgraded, and the power on it already does almost as much damage as the V61 when maxed out, and the V61 does quite a bit of damage. And so
Oh
you
yeah,
could,
the V61 is crazy. It's like an assault
yeah,
rifle, dude.
yeah, I think it's pretty crazy, but I think that will be like a second handgun to max out, like as you go through the second or probably through the third playthrough. But you get that handgun, and you could immediately make it infinite, because if you collect enough or complete enough challenges, you'll be able to afford to do so. Um,
Hmm.
Make the grenade launcher infinite as well, because if you don't want to have to craft or move anything, worry about collecting stuff and it filling up your inventory and forcing you to move stuff, if you have the grenade launcher infinite, it'll allow you to be able to clear through a lot of the areas that requires like pipe bombs and mines and stuff like that. Because if you I came across situation on my playthrough when I was trying to get that, where it was at the Moreau at the in the water area, and his
Hmm.
like green gunk stuff had filled up and blocked off the area of that ship that you pulled up from the water. And I ended up having to craft there. So the next playthrough, I just made the grenade launcher infinite, and it completely negated any reason at all to be able to uh any reason at all to craft anything. But and then, as I said, it's important that you complete as many challenges as early as possible in the first playthrough, so that way you can make sure you get the 3 infinite weapons, because that'll save you a lot of effort. But just in case if you don't have enough, I would definitely say get the USM AI handgun and the grenade launcher, because that's going to be a really good fallback. And the handgun with like medium to long range, you can still maintain good crowd control.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Well,
But,
good to know.
yeah.
Good to know. I'm going to end up using that strategy because I don't have any explosives. I don't have a grenade launcher. Infinite, and I should have done it. I should have done it, but I wanted the
Yeah.
V61.
Yeah. The grenade launcher, I know it costs like 50,000 CP to be able to make infinite, and then you don't have to upgrade it, so that saves you a lot of effort. And then like with the second playthrough, to be able to get all those trophies in the single playthrough, you start on casualty, and then at the same time try to farm as much as possible. Hopefully if you memorize enough the area in the first playthrough, you'll be able to just kind of burn through everything, collect all the treasures. And then as you go through the second playthrough, I would recommend don't get the dragoon at all. In all honesty, it's not that great. It'll be great on the lower difficulties, but on the harder
That hurt.
difficulties, it sucks. It sucks so much. That's why you definitely want to focus on the WCX. on this throughout the entire second playthrough, focus on making that infinite because it gets expensive, like to where it's 100,000 per just an upgrade slot. But you
Oh
upgrade,
man.
yeah, it gets pretty expensive. But the max ammo clip is 80 rounds versus the Dragoon, who has 30 rounds. And then the WCX, it is also stronger. And a lot of times, too, I had to rely on the WCX more than the Magnum because the Magnum, like, it did damage, but the fire rate, I couldn't keep up because the Lycans and the flying things, they dash back and forth. Magnum couldn't keep up with this. So with the WCX, I just spammed R2 and just let it rip, and it just mowed through everyone, even on the hardest difficulty.
Okay, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, no, I would made the mistake and I got the Dragoon then.
That's what I did too. I did it too, but then I actually did it on the harder difficulty, and I was like, man, this is not good at all. Because when I played as Chris on the Village of Shadows difficulty, I can't tell you how many fucking times I died because of the fact that I had to reload. It sucked. It sucked so bad.
Yeah,
And then the
that
pistol can
that
only
that
do
Chris
so much.
section is pretty intense. I remember the
Yeah.
first time I went through that Chris section. It was pretty good. It's definitely a high point in the game.
Yeah, I liked it because it was like the village started out like so quiet, ominous, and then when you play as Chris, like shit hit the fan. It's like a complete war zone.